Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? So we're going to get started with Game Hour. My name is Tameka Lee, and I'm the Communications Director for CALS. And I think we're going to have, some fun tonight. We're going to have a Jeopardy style game. So I'm going to pull that up now so we can get started and ready to play and give out a few prizes. All right, can everybody, I hope everybody can see. It's a little harder for me now to see you in the chat since I'm trying to share my screen. Okay, so here are the rules for the game. We are, like I said, going to have a Jeopardy style game. And there are some slight differences between this game, and Jeopardy. You do not have to answer like in the form of a question, like you would for Jeopardy. We're just going to put the question out there and you just answer it. There are no lost points for any incorrect answers, and there's not a daily double or a final Jeopardy question. The other thing that's a little different about some similarities, though, to Jeopardy are that we will have a board, and the person who answers the question will have control of the board. Now, because we don't have buzzers, you're going to have to type buzz into the chat so we can make sure that we get your response, and try and make sure that the first person who clicks on it is the person that that we call on. You'll have 10 seconds to answer the question, and we will call on you to answer. Now, for the buzz part, we do need to make sure that you're selected your chat to say panelists and attendees so we can all see it. Let's see here. So I'm trying to open my chat and click on the game at the same time. We do have a scorekeeper, and Michelle, if you're able to unmute yourself, say hi so people know that the scorekeeper is here.
I'm Michelle, and I'm the scorekeeper, and I promise to play fair.
So I got a question about changing the chat to panelists and attendees. If you're in your chat feature now, there's a part where it says to, and it says all panelists. If you click on that, you can make it say all panelists and attendees. Now, once again, once you do that, though, that means everybody who's playing can see, everybody who's on the call or on the meeting can see what you're saying in the chat feature. So like I said, Michelle's going to make sure that she helps me keep up with your score. And in order to answer the question, you are going to have to unmute yourself. So I do want to make sure that we do have everybody who's playing, that she does have your name. So if you could go ahead and put your names in the chat so we can make sure that we have everybody so that she can keep up with who's answering. And
Tameka, I can, excuse me, I can see their names on the attendee list.
You can see? Okay. All right. Well, we don't have to worry about that then.
We don't have to.
So in that case, we are going to go ahead and get started with the game. And after we finish, we'll announce we have 2 prizes to give away. So gift cards to Zaza's and Big Orange. And so we'll announce those at the end after we have a chance to tally everything. And so some of the questions will be multiple choice and some of them will just be open. So also just a little reminder of how things are a little different than Jeopardy. Come on, computer. Okay, so this is our game board and these are our categories. So we have Bookmoji, which is basically like Pictionary. We'll have a few pictures and you have to guess the book title. 6 Bridges are questions about the festival. It can be about the festival this year, the history of the festival in general, but everything in there is 6 Bridges related. One Hit Wonders, these are books that are basically the one hit by their respective authors. So you'll get some points for naming the book, but if you are also able to name the author, you will get extra points for that. Classics and context is just that. These books all relate to the classics, the classic and context category that we do as a part of the festival every year. Literary kings, this means that the word king is involved with the answer in some way. So whether it is a nickname, actually a part of the person's name, a part of a book character, just know that king is a clue as to what the answer is going to be. And then the last one is can't judge a book by its cover. And so with that, you will have to actually guess the cover or the title of a book based on the cover that we show you. So I'll go ahead and start the game, and I am going to click on 6 bridges for 10 points. So March is a graphic novel series based on and co-authored by this civil rights activist and congressman who passed away earlier this year. He spoke at the festival in 2014. Uh-oh. Okay, so Jane, you have buzzed in. And who is your answer, Jane? Can you unmute yourself, Jane, or put it in the chat? All right, so Jane gets her 10 points.
Okay, I'm unmuted now.
Okay, Jane, you now have control of the board.
How about classics and context for 10?
Okay, this year's classic and context selection is a survival and adventure novel set in southern England around Hampshire. The story features a small group of rabbits. Does anybody know? Okay, if the answer is Watership Down, Jane, you still have control of the board.
Well, that didn't work well, so maybe I should try something else. How about Bookmoji for 10?
Oh, I got a buzz. So Brad. Actually, I'm not sure if that was, okay. That is correct. Brad, you have control of the board. Okay, so he said Bookmoji for 20. Any takers? All right, Brad, you still have control of the board. Okay. Any guesses? These are harder than I thought they would be. All right, Brad, you're still up. All right, adjusting for inflation, the movie version of this 1936 book is still the highest grossing movie in the US. Okay, Jane?
Gone with the Wind.
All right. So Jane, you now have control of the board.
How about One Hit Wonders for 20?
Octavia Spencer was the author's original inspiration for the character of Minnie. Spencer narrated the audiobook and won an Oscar for her performance in the film version of the book.
Brad buzzed in.
Brad, was it? Okay. Brad.
The Help. That's it.
That's right. Okay, Brad, you have control. Okay, can't judge a book by its cover for 10. So you have 3 seconds to look at it in big version.
Which is it?
So yeah, so you have to choose which one you think it is. Brad's opting out because he's our festival coordinator, so he knows all of these. So do we have a guess for what it is? So it is The Ghost Variations by Kevin Brockmeyer. So Brad, I believe you still have control of the board. Uh-oh. Okay, so Literary Kings for 10. This author is also known as Richard Bachman. Okay, Brad. Okay. All right, you are correct. Okay, so Brad, you have control. Okay, so I'm going to pick a category. So I'm going to pick 6 Bridges for 20. Once again, Brad is going to know the answer to these. The 6 Bridges Book Festival was formerly named the Arkansas Literary Festival. It was started and hosted by this organization before Cowles took over management of the event in 2008. Okay, this is more complicated. Okay, any guesses for this one? All right, so we'll just start going down the line for these. All right, can you name these 6 bridges? Brom, I see you in here. You don't want to take us, you don't want to try it?
He says 1 through 6.
All right, so I'm not going to read all of these. You can see them. You can see them in front of you. All right. All right, so we're going to do classics in context for 20. This 1969 autobiography describes the early years of a renowned writer and poet who spent her childhood in Arkansas. It was the 2018 Classic in Context selection. All right, Brom.
He can't figure out how to turn his microphone on. He says it's Maya Angelou.
Well, you got the author anyway, so yeah, we'll give it to you. So, Brom, you get to pick the next category. Okay, one hit wonder for 30. Okay, this 1997 novel begins in 1929 Japan when 9-year-old Chiyo Sakamoto is sold by her father to work in the entertainment district in Kyoto. Oops. Okay, the answer to that was Ms. Marvel's of a Geisha. I accidentally pressed the wrong button. But that was the answer for that one. Brom, you want to select again? Okay. While the author is well known for her poetry, her only novel is said to be semi-autobiographical. Oh my goodness, I'm messing that word up. You know what I mean, though. of her own descent into madness. She died by suicide in 1963, a month after the publication of the book. All right, we had an answer from Brom. So Brom, you want to pick the next category? Thank you for speaking directly to me, Brom. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're doing one hit wonder for 50. Okay, this 1913 French novel was published in 7 volumes and clocks in at over 4,000 pages. The author wrote several essays, but this is his only novel. So the answer for this one, In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust. So Brom, do you want to pick again, or you want to leave it up to the dealer's choice? Okay, so classic in context for 30. This novel is notable for its controversial subject. The protagonist, an unreliable narrator and middle-aged literature professor under the pseudonym Humpert Humpert, is obsessed with a 12-year-old girl. It was the 2017 Classic in Context selection. Okay, so the answer for this one is Lolita. Brom, you want to pick again? Okay. Acclaimed by many as the world's greatest novel, this 19th century classic is a vast panorama of contemporary life in Russia and of humanity in general. The 2012 film adaptation stars Keira Knightley and Jude Law. It was the 2016 Classic in Context selection. Do we have a guess? All right, Brom, are you going to stick with the classics in context category? Yes, you are. Okay, so this novel tells the story of the Buendia family and chronicles the irreconcilable conflict between the desire for solitude and the need for love. In rich, imaginative prose that has come to define an entire generation known as magical realism. It was the 2019 Classic in Context selection. Do we have a guess? "100 Years of Solitude." All right, Brom, what category do you want to try next?
For some reason, he can't get the typing thing to show up.
Okay,
Right, there he is. I can't judge.
Okay. Okay, do we have a guess for which book it is? Okay, so C, Not Quite Snow White. Let's see. That is correct. Okay. Where do you want to go now? Uh-oh. All right.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh, so your answer, so you're selecting C? Okay. It's actually B, Here for It.
Okay.
So we'll go to the next one in that category. So we'll go with Can't Judge a Book by Its Cover for 40.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Brom. So Through the Woods, let's see.
Oh.
So it's B or D, bent to heavens. So we'll go to the next one in that category. I think we only have the one left, so can't judge a book for 50.
Mm.
Okay, Jane,
Is it B?
that's right. No, actually, I'm sorry. I said that's right, but we're gonna check to see what the answer is. It's D, Ordinary Girls. But Jane, you get to select the next category.
Wait, did she guess? Was that correct? Did she
Yeah,
say B or
It
D?
wasn't correct.
No,
Okay.
I did not get it. But you are allowing me to pick anyway.
Yeah, go ahead and pick.
Oh, okay. How about Bookmoji for 40?
Say Brad, Brom, Jane. Anybody
No.
have a guess? Okay, so it's Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Jane, you want to pick another category?
Hey.
Finish
thumbs
that
up.
one out.
Stop.
So we'll run down the list and we'll go ahead and finish out Bookmoji.
Right.
Any guesses? All right, Brad got it.
Brad got it. Good job.
All right, Brad, do you want to pick the next category? Oh, going all the way to the bottom. Okay. Okay, so Carolyn Reynolds' Kings of Memphis is the story of the parallel lives of which two kings of Memphis? Okay, Brom? All right, that is correct. All right, Brom, you have control. Okay, 6 bridges for 40. So which pair of food writers appeared at this year's festival?
Jane buzzed in.
All right, Jane.
Cat Robinson and Dory Greenspan.
Ooh, almost. This one's a little tricky.
I know Cat was one.
She was.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, Kat is one of the writers who attended this year. Okay, Brom.
Wow.
That
Look
is,
at that.
yeah, that's right. All right, Brom, you get to pick again. Okay, 6 bridges for 50. So this one's an audio clue. But to give it some context, romance writers Alicia Rye and Lisa K. Adams talked about some of their worst editing moments during their session. They agreed that this word with one letter missing completely changes the meaning of a sentence. But I'm going to play an audio clip to give you some context to help you possibly figure this one out.
What is your funniest typo?
Well, I just had one in the book I just turned in. It was supposed to say first time they had slept in the same bed, and instead I wrote the same body. And I'm like, well, that's a completely different book. That's a whole different genre. Like, that's not even, you know, but I didn't catch it at first.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some multiple choice here for which word you think they then went on to say was one that you had to be very careful about in when writing. So does anybody have a guess?
Jane.
Okay, Jane. What's your guess, Jane?
B.
B, public. Okay, let's see here.
Anytime the word public, you have to catch that one, you know. Yeah. Because that can that one letter that goes missing, and it's like a completely different meaning, you know, and spell check doesn't catch it. So
all right, so that is correct. Public. So Jane, you have control of the board.
20.
We said Literary Kings for 20.
Yep.
Okay, so this book award given annually to outstanding African-American authors and illustrators of books for children and young adults is named after the widow of a civil rights icon.
Brad Busby. Oh.
Okay, Brad.
Thought he buzzed in. Oh, there he is. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, there he is. All right. Brad, you get to pick what is next. The television show Empire is based on this Shakespearean play.
Brad's buzzing in.
Okay, Brad.
King Lear.
King Lear. All right, so we will go into our last category, our last question, Literary Kings for 40. The King of This World of Talking Beasts was written with parallels to Jesus Christ. Any guesses for this one? Say Aslan from the Chronicles of Narnia. All righty. Well, we have cleared the board. Michelle, have you been able to keep up, and do you have our winner for us?
I do. Brom actually won. I know, right? And Brad came in second, but Brom, I think he might have heard me go over a few of these. So Brom is going to cede his winnings to Jane and let her choose which one she would like to win.
Well, Jane, you have your choice of a $50 gift card to Zaza's or Big Orange. So you just let us know which one you would like, and we'll give you a couple of options as far as us getting it to you. So either you can send an email with your address and we can mail it to you, or I can leave it in an envelope for you at main library or one of the other libraries that may be a little closer to you. Okay, so Jane,
Brad?
I want to.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Jane, I'll put my email in the chat, or you can email Six Bridges Book Festival so that you can let us know how you would like to receive that prize. So I'm going to type that in here now. And so my email address is actually just tlee@cals.org. Or you can email Six Bridges Fest, right, Brad? Six Bridges Fest @cals.org.
Six Bridges Book Fest.
It is Six Bridges Book Fest @cals.org. So if you send an email to one of those, and like I said, let us know if you would like for us to mail it to you or just leave it at a branch of your choosing, we'll make sure that you get your gift card. So our game hour was actually not a complete hour. It was more like 40 minutes, but we did complete our games, and I had a good time. Michelle and I had fun putting this together. So thank you for all who participated, and it was a pleasure entertaining you for a little while this evening.
Tameka, before you stop, now Brad came in second.
Well, if Brad would like to also have one of the gift cards, he can. Or he can choose to give that to someone that he wants to thank for something for the book festival. So I would give Brad that option. So, but that is all that I have for you. So Jane, don't forget to send us an email with your information so we can contact you. And that is all that we have for the evening. So good night, everybody, and thank you for playing with us.